So load data in the form when a node is clicked in the list. Done. Add a note to the list when the form is submitted. That sounds hard. Make the delete button work. Yeah. Make the plus button in the sidebar clear out the form so a new note can be added. This doesn't sound too bad. Who did this? Was that just John? Make the plus button work. So what does the plus button need to do? How do we clear out the form? Where does the form get its data? Yeah, from current note. So what does the plus button need to do if we want to blank out the form? Keith?
I was just going to set it to a blank note.
So it's just set current note to a blank note, right? Yeah.
Mine already does it.
Well, there is an href on that. It's a side effect basically. Didn't mean, yeah. Yeah, in the sidebar href, yeah, this is an actual link. That was just a copy and paste error on my part. It shouldn't have been there. So yeah, we got lucky. But that makes a full page refresh, which we don't want. So instead, we want this to do something else. This is that I'm in the sidebar JS now. And this is the little link with my two images. I'll just set onClick equal to something. Put a little error function in here. Console log. New note. Just to see that much happen. Click. There we go. But what we really want it to do is set the current note to a blank note. We already have a method that sets the current note. But I don't want to build a whole new blank note in the sidebar and pass it up. That seems kind of ridiculous. We're already creating a blank note here. And right now there are only 3 fields in a current note. But if that ever changes, if we have more fields to this, I don't have to remember to change that in a bunch of places. So I'm just going to make a new method on here called blank note. I'll use my new property initializer trick. Make it an arrow function. And that will just return the object, well, this object right here. So in the initial state, I will say current note colon this dot blank note. Did that work? Yeah, everything didn't explode, so it seems to work. And then we could pass both blank note and set current note down to the sidebar, but that's also ridiculous. So I'm going to make one called reset current note. And that's just going to call this dot set current note and pass in this dot blank note. Open close parens. I'm not passing in a callback here. I'm actually passing in the blank note, right? So I do want to call blank note. And then I can pass this down as a prop to the sidebar. This is a lot of props. And I have a feeling we're not done either. So I'm also going to take this opportunity to learn another new trick. Inside my render function and app, I'm going to make a new variable called actions. And all of the methods that I pass down as props, I'm going to store in this object. Like set current note colon this dot set current note. Reset current note, this dot reset current note. And then instead of passing them in one at a time in the JSX, let's get rid of set current note here. I'm going to do this. Totally works. So that passes in both of these props. Prop name, prop value, totally works. That is the spread syntax. Another delightful recent feature. And it was just for arrays until pretty recently. And in fact, using this on objects is pretty new. I'm sorry. No, that's not what's new, is it? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah. Fairly new. So let's have a look at that real quick. Well, okay, it's not super. Okay, yeah, here we go. The spread syntax lets you use, say, the elements of an array as like arguments to a function. So you need all the individual items in there, but you're not destructuring it. You're spreading them out so that they're each separate things like an argument to a function, because that's what we're doing out here. We're spreading them out into separate props. And you can do that in an argument list too. For example, we have first and last name here. Pretend we hadn't already broken these out. So we have this names array that contains these two things, Keith and Hansen. And we have a function that takes first name and last name as separate arguments. And I have those things, but they're in an array. I want to pass the individual items in an array as the arguments to a function. You can use the spread syntax for that. So say hello, ellipsis, names. Hello, Keith Hansen. What's up? So kind of cool. And it works on objects now too. So I end up passing in both of these things as separate props. So if I have more of these things that I want to pass down to main, I'll just add them here. It's a little easier than hunting through the JSX. Yeah.
What's the actual name of this functionality?
Spread syntax. Spread. Yeah. The spread operator. And there will be links about that on today's notes. So we're passing down reset current note now to main. And from main, we want to pass that on to the sidebar. That's what we were actually working on. I'll go ahead and do it on a separate line. Why not? Reset current note props dot reset current note. So in the sidebar, instead of calling this little arrow function, sidebar right now isn't receiving any props. Let's destructure that. Get reset current note out of there. And on click, reset current note. Does it work? Let's load the form up with something. Yay, cleared it out. Didn't refresh the whole page either. We did it. The button works. Clear the form upon clicking the plus button in the sidebar. Homework part 1, done. Homework part 2, Homework part 3, Part 4, yep. We got 1 and 4 done. Go us. Questions? Manageable?